Welcome to the greatest 3 minutes in broadcasting. Although that was only 30, what is that, about 30 seconds? So.
The 10 times more of that coming up.
I can play it again like we did last week.
I just did math and we're 30 seconds in, so I broke my own rule.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Geek and I. Hopefully things go well tonight. We have tornadoes, probably not tornadoes, but tornado-like winds here in the old dusty state of Texas. Looks like what did I say it looked like before? It's sepia tone outside.
That's usually when the tornadoes come and your house gets blown into the land of Oz. So
yes, and we can follow the Yellow Brick Road. And all have a good time.
I know I will.
So tonight's episode is Errand of Marty, Errand of Mercy.
Close enough.
Yeah, close enough. What'd you guys think of this episode? How many times have you seen this one, Marty?
Conservatively, probably about 40 or 50 times, easily. Over 50 years.
Wow. Deb?
So.
I vaguely remember this one. I know I've watched it a few times in my younger years.
I have never seen this one all the way through before.
Did you make it?
And I did. I did, and I was waiting for a big. I'm watching it, going, "There's something off with these guys," and I just couldn't. I just couldn't place what it was. That was what are they? The Organians?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that where Princess Leia's from?
2 systems over. Close relatives.
Distant cousins.
I didn't get to
long ago.
And John Calico steals the show.
Oh, he was great. He was great.
Amazing.
And I want to watch. Now I want to watch Battlestar Galactica just because of that episode.
Yep.
His little.
Every time he said vegetable, I was like, wow, that's pronunciation.
I liked his little Fu Manchu.
Fu Manchu, yeah.
I don't know why, but when he first came on screen, I just instantly thought of John Wayne as Genghis Khan.
I could see that. Wow, Pilgrim. Okay.
Wow, talk about miscasting.
Yeah, that's up there, all right.
And now the guy that played the lead Organian, he looked familiar. Was he in another episode? He looked like he could be in that one with the poet guy. I
don't think he did more than one episode of Star Trek, but he was in a lot of TV in the 60s. I'd have to go back and check.
Because he looked very, very familiar.
I thought his performance was great too.
Yeah, and the guy, the other one that I don't know, I want to say like acted like he was blind, and would always sit back and look like he like
soothsayer. Yeah,
yeah, like he would fall. He's fallen asleep. He was good too.
Okay, let's take a look. John Abbott was Islborn, and oh my God, he worked all the way up through 1984, Let's see. Looks like he did a lot of crime TV in the 70s. Land of the Giants, Wild Wild West, Bewitched, Mannix, Lost in Space, Star Trek, The Munsters as Dr. Frankenstein IV, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., Get Smart. So we've seen him all over TV land.
Yeah,
Very
it's probably Get Smart where I don't recall Frankenstein the Fourth, but probably from Get Smart.
So his first credit goes back to 1931. So that's a 50-plus year career. Good for him.
And when did he? I'm assuming he's left us.
Yes. He turned into a giant white shimmering light and left us to be with the other Organians in 1996. So he was 91 years old when he left this plane of existence.
Wow. Impressive.
Oh, yeah.
So this episode begins where most of these episodes begin, in the beginning on the Enterprise.
And yes, and we start out with Ranger again.
So they're going to Organia. Is it Organia?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So they go into Organia to try and get there before the Klingons do. And is this our first view of the Klingons?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yep.
Have they been mentioned before?
Not that I recall.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think this is our first introduction to them, and what an introduction. Literally, they fire first before we even see them.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, you're reading the old cassette tape player here, and the negotiations are on the verge of breaking down, and Starfleet anticipates a surprise attack, and guess what? Surprise!
I was going to say Starfleet ruined the surprise.
Yeah. It's like my kids on Christmas morning.
And here's Kirk musing about all the Earth countries that seem to be in the natural path of invasions. The innocents get rolled over.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I didn't realize they had automatic deflectors.
So here we are using the technology interchangeably again. So the deflectors are supposed to be on all the time to actually deflect solid objects. So that should be like sweeping debris out of their way. Yeah, I caught that one too.
So that's the dish, is the deflector.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
the round thing
The deflector
underneath the round thing.
Yep.
And what is it? What's don't they call it the deflectors?
Shields.
Right, but isn't there, like in Wrath of Khan where it just goes boop, 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 right around the bridge?
No, that was the shields going boop, 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 boop.
That was the shields?
Yeah, shield.
But that was going all the way around that was going all the way around the ship.
Yeah, so the deflectors actually deflect outward this way. Like, almost like an angle like this where it's just sweeping and pushing stuff out of the way. Think of the deflector as a snowplow, just pushing stuff out of the way so the ship can go faster than light and not get hit and destroyed by like a small grain of rice when you're traveling 9 times the speed of light to the 9th power.
No math.
No math. There's a lot of zeros in that, kiddies. And here's Kirk doing the hucklebuck.
He's like, yeah, I'm not really good at this dance. Could you blur it out for me?
But he sold it. I'll give him that. Here's good old Enterprise getting pounded.
And firing back.
And firing back.
And getting pounded again.
And here we see the famous Klingon ship designed by Matt Jeffries, same guy who designed the Enterprise.
It's a great design.
It is a great design. It's instantly, you instantly recognize it as a spaceship, but it also feels like a warship at the same time. The kind of curved wings, the bubble coming out front, almost like an attacking animal. I love this design.
Yeah, it's to me, it's like I lost the word I was looking for.
Predator?
Intimidating.
Intimidating, yep.
I wanted to say that, but I kept, when I started to say it kept coming up like imitating. And I'm like, no. Old age setting in.
And was that, is that what is known as the battle cruiser nowadays?
The battle cruiser, yes.
Okay. And then the bird of prey is not in the original Trek, is it?
No, we've never seen the bird of prey. They will sometimes refer to the Romulan ship as a bird of prey. In fact, in Star Trek 3, the ship was supposed to be Romulans going after the Genesis device, not Klingons. So when they flipped the script back to the Klingons, they changed all the references, but forgot to change the reference of the name of the ship. So it remained a bird of prey, and that's how the Klingon bird of prey got its name.
Well, do you know why they changed it from Romulans? Because to me, it would be a great Romulan story also.
I think so, too. I think they just wanted to go with the more recognizable of the two villains from the original show. Because you got to remember, Star Trek 2, they kind of deleted all references to Saavik being half Romulan.
Right.
Because they felt it might confuse the audience.
Well, that and the fact that, Kirk's never had any love for Klingons, ever.
Yeah, that's true. So here's your break apart ship.
Legos.
Man, does that thing have a glass jaw.
And then this is where we get the dun, 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 right into the title sequence. Because we get a code 1, which is war.
What is it good for?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. I'll say it again. War. And we're off on our Errand of Mercy.
Now, the title. What do you? I thought the Errand of Mercy, when the show started, was different than the way I perceived it at the end. What do you guys think the Errand of Mercy means?
Well, I think it refers to the Enterprise trying to protect these people from being just steamrolled over by the Klingon Empire. But by the end of the episode, it's the Organians who are performing the Errand of Mercy by preventing the all-out war between the two powers.
Yes, that's the way I took it. Once they turned everybody to 350 degrees.
Thank God an advanced civilization is still using Fahrenheit, so.
Yeah, screw the metric system.
Well, it's nice to know that doesn't survive in the next 200 years.
Yeah. Well, when Canada's the 51st state, first thing we're going to do is get rid of that metric system.
It's funny you should say that, because at one point, like when he's trying to convince the council that this is the only way, I really thought he was going to, yell, "We have to make Organia great again." I'm like, Moga! Kirk just went Moga!
And here he's telling Sulu, like, look, no buts about it. Anything happens, you get out of here.
I don't think Sulu got the memo about no buts. So but interesting, he put Sulu in command when Scotty is there. So I'm wondering if maybe, he put Sulu in command because it's a combat situation and Scotty might be needed in engineering for repairs.
Yeah. Or, DEI.
DEI to hire.
So they beam down to the middle of the city.
I thought they were at the Alamo.
Well, they're some kind of castle. Yeah. And
never dawned on them, maybe outside the walls or in a corner someplace, or find an empty closet to beam us into. Town Square will do just fine, thanks.
But I thought it was cool the way they beam in, and then all of a sudden, once they're fully developed,
ta-da!
Everybody starts walking around. It's like,
yeah.
You see wagons and goats and
green goats. Just in time for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. And what's amazing, the Federation's been here. They have a whole file on this planet that is completely wrong. You may want to go back to the guy who captained the first contact mission here. What'd you spend, 20 minutes? Like,
well, he materialized in that tree, so he really couldn't see anything. And then we get a nice warm welcome. And Spock wants to go take his tricorder and go check out the village. And, like a good host, our village is yours. And then Kirk meets the council. And he comes right out and says that we're here to protect you from the evil Klingons. And these guys just, they don't care.
We're all right. Everything's fine. It's almost like the whole planet was stoned. Like nothing fazed them.
Like, yeah, man. Don't worry about it, man.
Too pathetic, dude. Did Marty freeze on this?
No, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're just frozen.
I may have kicked the. There we are. I promise I won't move too much anymore. So, I mean, they are there to do a good thing. They're trying to help these people. And already Kirk is getting annoyed 30 seconds into his conversation with the High Council.
Yeah, and it's like, we're here. I'm here to help you, damn it. Just accept it and get in the truck.
It gets irritated very quickly.
Well, you know what? Upon watching this, I was like, well, we would usually take the irritation parts and give it to McCoy, but he's not even in this episode. So we can't give it to Spock. So by default, it's got to go to Kirk.
So do you think they write episodes with, a certain formula that says, okay, this guy's angry all the time. This guy's a grouch. This guy is going after all the chicks. And this guy's just walking around solving everything.
I think that's a lot of TV shows.
You just summed up 20th century television in 5 seconds. But what they do with that, I'd say it's like a 90-10 rule. So 90% of the time, that's absolutely true. But what makes the difference is the 10% of the time they divert from that scenario where, maybe all of a sudden the skirt chaser suddenly kind of realizes he's got to put his ship before his desires, or the cold illogical guy actually falls in love for the first time, or McCoy is not making a racist or speciesistic comment to one of his coworkers. So, and I think that's what makes these characters interesting, is that they aren't necessarily one note. Now, Spock comes in and insults the entire planet in front of the High Council. Nobody notices the wooden doors that mysteriously open and close by themselves.
Yeah.
Wonder if it was that one guy. He knows when people are approaching and just opens the doors.
Yeah, it's like everybody keeps walking through and nobody's like, what was that?
It was the goats. So there's been no advancement in tens of thousands of years.
So basically, Jersey. Don't write. It's a joke, people.
No, because it's don't make South Philly mad. So, other than yell at them across the table, what did he do to try and change their opinion?
Could have offered him a 20. Would this change your mind? He doesn't really make a case. He's like, hey, the bad guys are coming. Well, why don't you take your fancy tricorder and show them some of those Klingon atrocities that you're afraid is going to happen to them? Because let's face facts. If Kirk took a step back, yeah, I'm a stranger coming down, and I just happen to be the first stranger that arrives to tell you that the bad guys are coming. So if he took 10 seconds to put himself on the other side of the table, maybe he would realize he's just coming with words and no proof whatsoever that this is really going to happen.
And I'm thinking to myself that, how do these people know that we're not, Kirk's not the evil guys, and they're trying to like reverse psychology to keep the Klingons out because they want the planet.
Right. I mean, the whole thing is so embarrassing. I thought Spock was going to go try and hide behind that lattice work in the background, but they saved those hiding moves for later.
Well, he's going to go talk to the guy at the head of the table who's taking a nap.
This guy looks like every uncle on Thanksgiving. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's good. Tryptophan. Yes, we know, Uncle Larry. Tryptophan. Oh, he woke up.
He heard dessert was coming.
We got pie. And now the you know what hits the fan.
So do you think they just didn't, because I kept wondering, why didn't they just tell Kirk and Spock that, we're basically gods and there's nothing to fear here?
I think Spock kind of hits it at the end of the episode, is that, they're so far advanced above us as we are above the amoeba, that it didn't even dawn on them that we could comprehend what we were telling them. That's the way I just look at it. They just didn't even consider that as a possibility because they held us in such low esteem. So this may hold the record for the most number of Klingon ships ever seen in a shot. There's at least...
Now, is this an exact duplicate of the original?
No, not even close. They were small blue dots in the background.
But were there 4 of them?
I don't remember. I don't even think we got a good exterior shot of the Klingon ship. Definitely know there weren't 6 of them.
So then we have this guy telling, he's basically the, what would you say? He's the Sulu Hura that tells them what's going on the sensors.
Yeah, he's their living sensor. He knows exactly what's going on, when it's going on. Nothing gets past this guy.
So now the Klingons are beaming down.
And he's picking up stuff that Spock's tricorder isn't even registering.
Yeah. So Trefane is
not
the guy with his hands clasped.
Elaine, who we saw a few episodes again. This is Trefane.
Yeah.
Distant cousin. Again.
And here come the Klingons.
It's a pretty neat outfit.
Yeah, it really is. To me, it still works. Before we got our leather daddy Klingons, yeah.
Because you can see where the Klingon design in Next Gen came from, because you have the big cut around the neck. I mean, it's not a sleeveless gold tank that they're wearing, but you could translate that into that breastplate thingy that they wear.
You could definitely extract armor out of what they're wearing here. Yeah.
And it almost looks like they're wearing chainmail.
Yeah, I think that's the look that they were definitely going for, with their mock turtlenecks and their chainmail and their bubble pack belt buckles there.
And they're disruptors.
They're Klingon disruptors. Yes.
We've seen those before. Weren't they
Yes.
in that escape scene?
They were. Well, the Klingons apparently purchased all their weapons from MNR7 after the war was settled. So yes, that's an MNR7 disruptor pistol.
Yeah, surplus.
Yes, surplus. It's actually the Remco fishing buddy.
Is it really?
No, I'm kidding. It looks like it though. Or the handy help. What was it? The handy housewife helper. That can core an apple.
Now, that was who was that guy? Ronco?
Ron Papil, right?
Yeah.
Ronco, yeah. Why do I think Kivas and Trillium is street drugs? When he said a deal order.
Yeah.
That ought to work. And here he is, the man himself.
With the gold sash.
With his baldric, yes. Interesting, he wears it on the other side than Worf did.
Mm-hmm.
And very few Klingons besides Worf and Kor. I don't even think Kang wore one. But this was such an iconic piece to the whole aesthetic of the Klingons that, it came back.
Is there a in-world reason that Worf's was on the other side?
Not that they ever explained. I know at one time they said when he had the gold one that was the baldric of a child before he went to the snow chain version that I called it. But yeah, supposedly though, at this time it was commanding officers or those from honored houses who would wear it as a ceremonial piece. And Kor, as we later learn, thinks of himself as coming from a good house and
so they dressed up Kirk and Spock like Organians.
But just happened to have a gold one that fit Kirk and a blue one that fit Spock.
Yeah. So could they have, I mean, they could have just taken their uniforms and changed them and
switch. Kirk wearing the blue one and Spock wearing the gold one. And right away, there's something about Barona that he senses. I don't want to say it's a respect thing, but he's one of the few people that he's encountered that doesn't sicken him.
I think it might be the Federation style sideburns.
Could be that too. Could be that too. You're the only one who doesn't smell like hemp on this planet. Sure, we know who the spy is.
And there's Robin Hood's Spock. He's got the legs of a dancer.
Little chicken legs there.
And did they do any digital face work? Because it almost looks like he's got, with the makeup, he's got the ridges in his forehead.
That's just his furrowed brow.
Mm-hmm.
That's all him. And what's interesting is, out of all the actors playing Klingons here, it's hard to peg down exactly what ethnicity John Colicos is here. He could pass for Indian, he could pass for Asian, he could pass for Caucasian, and I kind of like that because he is playing an alien. So we get a little mishmash of everything. And in his career, he did play all those roles at one time or another. So very versatile actor.
And I like the split in his beard.
Yeah.
And do the eyebrows go into the corner of the eyes?
Looks like they're going in both directions, to be honest with you. They're going up and down and
so they're going to put him in the Mind Ripper, which I know I had as a child. It's one of my favorite toys growing up.
by Remco. Batteries not included.
Where this thing, this basically reads everything, and then it's basically like bleach bit.
It will leave you in such a state you'll be speaking in word salad about Doritos. That's how powerful it is.
Yes, and DoorDash.
DoorDash. In this performance, I was so reminded of Jafar from
Lion King, or no, Aladdin.
Aladdin. Yeah, because of the eyebrows and the beard and the way he's using his eyes and his facial muscle. Just a great performance. He really just hit it out of the park.
Is this his only appearance as Core?
Until Deep Space Nine.
Really? They never brought him back.
Kang, Koloth, and Core were all one-offs and never brought back.
Well, I guess when you you think of it, you think of Star Trek, and you say, okay, it's 50 years old or more, whatever the math works out to. But when you go back and it was only 3 episodes?
79.
79?
Yep.
So they really didn't have enough time
to go back
and revisit. I guess I don't.
But there to me, there's just some kind of epic unfairness that Core gets 1 episode and Harry Mudd gets 2.
Yeah, that is unfair.
Yeah, that's a little unfair. But DS9 made it right, and he made 2 or 3 appearances on DS9, if I remember correctly. And
now, are we including the what is it, Trials and Tribulations?
Well, that was Koloth. So Koloth only came back once, and Kang came back on DS9 and in the flashback Voyager episode.
And they dressed him up
modern style.
Oh, they gave him the rings, the ridges and stuff.
Everything, yeah.
See, now they shouldn't have done that.
Well, there was an in-universe explanation for it, because of the retrovirus that infected the Klingons that had human DNA, and it caused them to look like this. But once they cured it, everybody went back to their lumpy-headed selves.
Yeah.
That's gotta hurt.
Yeah.
According to Worf, they don't talk about that.
It was the greatest cop-out I've ever seen on TV. They are Klingons, but we do not speak of it. All right.
Kirk pose.
It doesn't look so tough when you're in a long tunic, does it? Now, there are Klingons crawling all over the place. And more than one, Spock says, Captain.
Yeah.
Yeah, at their table where there were a bunch of Klingons are eating dinner, and they ran into one, and then right after he left, he calls him Captain, and there's a guy right behind him.
Apparently,
like, did you not hear that?
Yeah, Klingons are not known for their hearing, apparently. So, Starfleet really needs to do better with a basic course in concealing yourself. This guy coming around the corner, you could see him on the stairs. When my brother and I were like 5 and 7 playing hide and go seek, we found better hiding spots than this. And is that Spock's leg behind a tree that's sticking out? Why are you hiding behind the tree when there's an entire side of there's an alley you could go down?
Well,
and you can see his shadow.
Well, that means there's 6 more weeks of winter on Organia.
I mean, it is Spock, so he could technically just crouch down behind this door that's open.
The case.
And be invisible.
That's right. I forgot. The old Vulcan blending trick. All right, so here, this cracked me up because he looks like some kind of half-assed rabbit superhero.
That's Bateman.
Super Spock.
Here I have the holy hand grenade.
It should be power enough to destroy these corrugated boxes.
Yeah. I will set it for 10. 1, 2, 10.
And you know what, guys? Run to the wall where you can't run any further. The wall will shield you from the explosion from the other side. This will just cause you to splat against the wall.
And what is... To me, that looked like... I had to rewind this back. I was like, is that their silhouette like in the end of Rogue One? Are they holding each other?
Okay, so this explosion reminded me so much of the explosion on Moonbase Alpha. I was afraid Organia was about to get blown out of its orbit.
The holy hand grenade is powerful.
Again, I don't really know what the Klingons want here or why anybody wants it. Is it just as a staging planet? Is it... They don't make it clear why this is so important.
It's just strategic. It's on the way.
It's got a Buc-ee's.
Yeah. They're all lined up. They gotta pee. That's all it is.
Pull over to Organia.
Yeah. So again, Captain Judgmental is just ripping into their culture, their beliefs.
How little do you understand us? Well, explain it to me, please. And I guess Core had he had some time to install Alexa.
I thought it was a movie projector when I saw it. Or might be watching dirty movies in his. And notice this count. There's no papers on the desk. There's nothing. I don't know what goes on at this table.
So we're gonna send. I guess we're gonna send Kirk over and empty his brain, right? Or no, he's going to. Is he gonna? Is this where he's gonna dissect
Spock? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is where they give they rat him out.
He just gives him up. But that's one dumb-looking Klingon in the background.
I like how they know who Kirk is.
And this cracks me up. That shot. I'm sorry. That shot was the original VHS box. Just the two of them looking at each other with Spock in the background. So yeah, so Kirk's got a reputation, Deb. They know about him, and I love when he said, "My hope was to meet you in battle." So already they're kind of laying the foundation for what the Klingons are all about.
And here they go off holding hands.
It looks like a lead singer and it's two backup singers about to take the stage.
I don't want to drink. Pouty. This is Pouty Kirk.
Pouty Kirk. I love this scene because a huge part of it is Core going, basically acting the way we don't expect him. He does have respect for Kirk as a warrior on some level, and he understands they're both pawns in a bigger game. And I almost feel like Core is looking for some respect back from Kirk.
So let me ask you this: Do you think that's do you think that is the writing or the acting where you get the respect from two adversaries towards one another that want to do battle with each other, and it really doesn't do anything until later series where where they say, I would rather die in battle.
So the way I would answer this is the writing is elevated by the acting. In this scene, it's almost not as much as what's being said as it is what's not being said between these two. And you have Pouty Kirk there going, if I ever catch that Islborn, I'm going to kick his ass from here to Starbase 10. And Core, who we expect to be maybe the more aggressive and childish of the two because he's got the upper hand, it isn't really. He's trying to be civilized. He's offering this fellow ship captain a drink. He says, I just want to talk. Which, as we come to know later on as the Klingons develop, that's a very atypical Klingon reaction. Or maybe it's not. Maybe this is how the Klingons actually are behind closed doors. So I love it. There's a little dance going on here. but only one person is swaying to the music, and it's making it very, very tough for Core to do what he needs to do. And then finally, he's like, "I'm giving you 12 hours to make up your mind." He doesn't have to do that.
Right, because you would expect a Klingon just to pull out the phaser and what he could disintegrate him.
Yep, or the agonizer, which we'll see later on. So I think that he is trying in his way to show him respect, and Captain Stubborn is not willing to play the game. Now, had he engaged him at that level, this may have worked out differently. But Kirk is unwilling to bend. Although he's about to give him a Sharon Stone moment here.
I was thinking the same thing.
He's ready for his flash dance number.
Pull the bucket down. And Cora just realized this isn't going to work, so now we just go back to the playbook. What a comeback. He must
claim a tree.
He must have been sitting on that ever since those Klingons landed.
So Spock can block the scanner. So he's just going to cut him up.
Now that's the Klingons we know and love. Vegetable.
And again, here's the ultimatum.
I'm giving you not 2 hours, not an hour, not even 15 minutes. He's giving him a half of a Earth day to make up his mind. All right.
Why do you think so long?
I misjudged you, Core. I don't want to say it's mercy, but again, it's honor and respect. And here he is telling him to go climb that same tree again. And I think Core's just trying to make sure Kirk understands what an ultimatum actually is. Not 12 hours in 1 minute, not 12 hours in 5, not after CSI Miami, but 12 hours from now, that's it.
And he does come right out and say, "I respect you." Kirk has given him no reason to respect him in their meeting together. So I guess it's just he's going off of his reputation.
Yeah, he's going off his reputation, and Kirk, for his part, isn't. I would almost understand Kirk more if he was sticking to name, rank, and serial number. But he's not. He's being I don't want to say child, but he's being brooding, and he's being petty. And I think he kind of lost track of what's at stake here. And Core is right. This is war. This.
And where do you think it turns to both of them looking to start an interstellar war with each other?
Well, they're both soldiers, and they both think they're following their orders and doing what they're supposed to do. But why do I have the feeling Core is the only one who not that he's having second thoughts, but really understands the gravity of what's about to happen here. Now, it might be because he's been to war on more than one occasion and he's seen his share, where, Kirk has done battle, but a full dragged out war is something altogether different. And here we are in another incredibly well-lit dungeon.
What do you think these guys do, like, to the guards that were on duty? Did they put them somewhere? Do they just make them disappear?
So that's a good question, because when the lieutenant reports to Core that they're gone, he says the two guards were standing there. They never left the room, and they only discovered them when they went to bring them food or something. I think they just kind of zapped them to, like, they were zoned out.
Or just, or giving them the illusion that, nobody was there, or, that everything was normal.
Or they could have just been like, open the door. And they opened the door and forgot about it afterwards. We don't know.
Like a Jedi mind trick.
Yeah. We don't know what the power level of the Organians really is, but it's got to be substantial for what they pull at the end of the episode.
Now, is that something we've seen before in other treks? Where somebody makes somebody else see something that they thought they saw, but it actually didn't. Because it seems familiar.
The Next Gen episode with the old couple on the planet, when he was making them think that their house was destroyed. And then
and the salt monster, right?
And the salt monster did it. Yeah. So we've seen manipulation of the mind, or even just projections that to change reality, right? Didn't hell, even Cisco used a filter on the Defiant ones to appear like an alien. So yeah. So through technology and through
well, that was through his Instagram account.
That's true. It still said B Cisco 69 at the bottom of the screen. So
and nobody noticed it.
Nobody noticed. Yeah. Meanwhile, at the Hall of Organians. So Mr. Happy comes in and, already is kind of in everybody's face.
And we've seen that box before, right? It looks familiar with those dials.
Oh yeah, that was, I think, wasn't it what the court stenographer was using, or they used it when Captain Pike's court-martial? I remember it sitting on a table someplace doing pretty much absolutely nothing. Now he's breaking the bad news.
And is this before or after Batman the series?
Probably concurrent.
Because that looks like it could be King Tut's chair.
Oh yeah, I could totally see that.
And was that Victor Buono?
Victor Buono, yeah. And wow, that wall sconce might be a little too close to the wall.
It's a little hot up there.
Yeah.
So to them, violence is unthinkable, but burning the house down,
Fire safety.
they don't care.
No.
Yeah,
All
that's
the
natural causes, though.
Yeah. All the Organians, you hear the. What's that?
Maybe they've been stagnant for 10,000 years because they keep burning the goddamn city down and having to rebuild it. Hey guys, it's called a 45-degree angle. Try it sometime. And Core looks like he's belting out the hits on Organia's rockin' radio station. This is Core in the morning. And why are there buttons on the other side? Shouldn't they be facing him?
Well, yeah. Makes it look like it's more functioning. I'm going to hide over here in the open doorway.
Yeah, they really need to improve that. Oh, now Spock has to open the doors. The doors suddenly stop opening automatically.
Well, the 200 door openers have been killed. So when they die, do you think it's just their bodies turning into the light again and disappearing?
Oh yeah, they totally played along to make it look like they died. Yeah. This is the order of Core. A quarter pounder with cheese. Side of Gok. We've killed enough here, Spock. It's time to go.
Yeah. We've done enough. Our mission is complete.
Yeah. There's enough blood on our hands. Try the cabinet back there. It's the only piece of furniture besides the table.
Where are those phasers? I cannot tell you. You can tell me. I'm a captain.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Didn't even have him locked up or anything.
There's no lock on anything.
So they're just going to walk out there, guns a-blazing.
Starfleet diplomacy at its best.
And he's ready to die.
Yeah. Again, there's almost like, I don't want to say a bloodlust, but it's like war. This is what we do. We got to go out. We got to die. Like he's almost got tunnel vision as to how this has to play out.
Right. And what do you think caused that? Because is it just his, I guess, spoken up until this point hatred of Klingons that he wants to go to battle with them?
It's either that or he feels he has a duty. You know, as much as Kirk is a bit of a renegade and doesn't always follow orders, something like this, he will follow those orders to the letter. And if Starfleet basically tells him up front that they're almost expendable, do what you have to do. So I think he goes in knowing that this is probably a one-way mission, and one way or the other, he's going to see it through.
And is that why he told Sulu, look, it's a one-way ticket. Get the ship out of here until you have enough ships to come back and match forces.
Yeah. It's kind of that unspoken, we're the only ship in the quadrant kind of thing that constantly goes on. But what the hell is Starfleet doing? How far away are the other ships? So there's like 6 guys on this council, but 3 only speak up at any given point.
Well, the others are in training. You can see they're the younger.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, they're training for the next 10,000 years. Spock, can we get those 2 guards? What 2 guards, Captain?
So never tell me the odds. I mean, those 2 guards standing in those giant open archways, I think I can get them with a trick shot. Yep.
So the old guys decide to take a nap.
Or when the Taco Bell kicks in. Jeez. And Cora's had enough of these guys, too. I mean, it's just like...
Now he's just going to kill everybody. And Kirk does the sneak up behind with a rope trick.
Yeah, this guy gave up too easily.
Yeah.
He's not Klingon.
First day out of Klingon school? Yeah, he gave up the whole operation.
It's like, I'm out.
Out.
Spock grabs the dustbuster.
I think the drawers are supposed to be on the other side, Core. And now everybody gets burned by their weapons and everything, which I thought was kind of a nifty little trick.
Yeah, you know, what better way to get people to drop their weapons? Make them 350 degrees.
Yep, and it's not permanently hurting them. It's a temporary discomfort. So, and they can't even touch each other. Apparently, Sulu's chair is hot.
Oh my!
I think we've all encountered that when we roll over on the heating pad at night and it's come out of the case and you're just touching skin onto liquid vinyl.
Yeah.
And now the Organians have had enough.
Now, I guess everybody sees their secret now?
Just Kirk, Spock, and Core.
No, don't they make reference that they can be seen at the Federation and the Klingon homeworld? That they're getting this message out to everybody? My phone rang at the end, and I thought I remembered that in this episode.
So the heat is traveling all the way across,
right,
to the home worlds.
To be fair, it's not so much the heat as it is the humidity, but
yeah.
Incorrect.
So
keep hitting the wrong buttons
on the ship became too hot to handle. Every control. Okay. I swear to God, I'm trying to flush, and the goddamn handle is like 300 degrees. And then we have to have the scene where everybody hashes out their political differences and ideologies. And now they're in agreement that they both got tricked and they're not going to have their war. Now they're annoyed.
Yeah.
Now they have a common enemy.
Now, that's it. There's peace in the galaxy because the
Organians are acting like total tools.
I wanted to fight him.
Yeah. So unfair.
So what do you think this is? Do you think this episode is an allegory for anything that was taking place at the time in the country or in the world?
100%. This is, to me, this is just a thinly veiled Vietnam story. You've got your Russians, your communists, and the Klingons. You've got Starfleet as the U.S. and their allies, and you have Organia as this battleground in between.
And is Kirk the military industrial complex that wants war?
Oh yeah, I think he represents, at least up to this point, he's representing the establishment. 100%.
Do you ever think we'd get that deep in this show? The show that makes fart noises, and now all of a sudden we're talking about international war and peace.
We still haven't figured out production order versus air date order, so that's all we would get. So no, I never thought we'd get this philosophical. But moving forward, I think there'll be more of these philosophical discussions, because this is, as we end season 1 and start ramping into season 2, this is where you will see a lot of these allegorical tales start playing out. And that's the beauty of science fiction. They can do this because it's not here. It's a faraway pretend planet that doesn't exist.
Right.
With pretend people. You can dress it up any way you want to, and 1, entertain, but 2, still try and get your message across.
Right. It's not like nowadays when they're trying to tell this story, the bad guy has a red baseball hat on.
Right. Right. And the Organians are absolutely right. We don't know that now, but down the road, the Organians are correct what will happen. And they're just so disgusted, they have to enforce the peace. Maybe over the next 50 years or so, selectively enforce the peace. But they do. I seem to remember massive attacks and wars being declared that the Organians just didn't intervene with for one reason or another. Remember a huge Klingon fleet attacking Deep Space Nine in a war with the Federation that was allowed to proceed.
And we get all glowy and splotchy and disappear.
They turn into disco balls and.
So what did that effect look like in the original?
A flashlight in the camera. That was about the extent of it.
So that's an upgrade.
Yeah, that is an upgrade.
And then we see the wall is still on fire.
Yeah, the wall is still on fire.
And we get the famous line.
Pure energy.
What song did he get a? Did he?
Oh, he must have.
Did he get a Grammy for that?
I don't know if he got a Grammy for that, but I'm sure he got money for that. Or Paramount got money for that.
Let's see what The old chat says. Let's see. How can I add? Did Leonard Nimoy get a Grammy for? What was the name of the band?
Hold on a second. What difference does it make? So apparently there's a 6-minute clip on how they obtained the rights for Leonard Nimoy's Pure Energy with the Information Society.
I want to know what you're thinking.
I want to know what you're thinking.
No, Leonard Nimoy did not receive a Grammy for Pure Energy. The song was What's on Your Mind, Pure Energy by Information Society. The track, released in 1988, features a famous sample of Nimoy's voice saying pure energy, which is taken from the Star Trek episode Errand of Mercy, 1967. However, Nimoy himself was not directly involved in the song's production, nor did he receive any awards for it. Did he
Give him an award for it.
make bank?
Yeah, I put in royalty and nothing came up. So
Paramount would have gotten paid off for it
there you go.
because they own the rights.
There you go.
And that was one song that I owned on Kasingle.
A singles. That brings me back.
I had the Kasingle of that one. And for those of you under,
111.
I don't know, what would you say? Maybe under 28? Because I don't think my kids would know what a Kasingle is. If I said,
I don't know what a single is.
What?
I've never heard that.
You've never had it? You've never gotten a Kasingle?
It was just a cassette single.
Yeah, it was just one song on each side of a cassette tape.
Yep.
What a waste.
Well, landfills are full of them now, so and the attic. So
Of course, I recorded all of my music on cassette from the radio. So I make my own mixtape.
I tried explaining that to the kids one night. Like, yeah, you'd have to sit there for hours. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, and hope they didn't talk into the post. And yeah,
Well, you kind of wanted them to talk because then you knew it was coming.
Yeah, but
trying to hit record as soon as they're done talking, that was hard.
Yeah.
See, I was the other way around. I'd rather hear the DJ.
Well, that's your thing. That's your meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
So, Core is
he's lamenting there's no war because it would have been glorious.
It probably
a glorious battle. And that's it.
And that's it, more or less. And then, of course, the Organian Peace Treaty is referenced multiple times throughout Star Trek history. So this is one of those episodes that had a lasting effect.
And how do you think Strange New Worlds will screw up this episode in the coming seasons?
Well, it hasn't happened yet. So they haven't. Oh, maybe they'll be the ship that goes there and files the really bad report.
Yeah. They go back and it says sing on the report card.
We didn't actually go. It just looked boring. So
Just fill out the paperwork.
we took a report from Rigel 7 and just globally replaced it with Organia. Yeah.
One thing I noticed about the Klingons, and I know this is the first time we see him, but later on we always see the Klingons do this, but in this one they're all doing this.
I didn't even notice this.
Oh, now everybody did the little.
Yeah, they were like,
"Sir."
I was like,
Don't hit
"What's
me."
this?"
So we had a little of this, a little of this. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, they go more to that Roman salute. But again, we're still kind of hashing out exactly what these guys are. Before we, and as they progress, we definitely see that more militaristic. Well, I shouldn't say that. So we have Core, who starts it off. And then by the time we get to Koloth and Trouble with Tribbles, we drop it down like way low. Like there's nothing special about Koloth's appearance. He's almost human and almost foppish when it comes to being a Klingon. Very different than how he portrayed him in Deep Space Nine. But then by the time we get to Kang is the prototypical cold-ass, nerves of steel Klingon warrior that, to me, kind of goes forward into the movies and the rest of the TV shows. He's the one who nails it all the way around.
I enjoyed this episode a lot. And it was, like I said in the beginning, it was one of those where it's like, where is this going? And it took a nice, this is a twist. And because you're thinking, like, why are these people not paying attention? I mean, we know that the Federation is the good guys and the Klingons are the bad guys. So, why are we in this dilemma? Why aren't they just listening? They have no weapons. All they have is a cart and a goat, and they're not paying attention. What is with this? And
It's a nice goat. I mean,
that is true.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of green goats. Yeah, it leaves you wondering what the hell is the matter with these people. And I think being beings of pure energy and light would probably be at the bottom of the guest list. Figuring out what's happening. Are they already aligned with them? Is there a third party involved that's dictating this? And then we find out that no, they don't want to be involved in our stupid little corporeal activities. Petty, yeah.
Well, also, there's no reason for them to be involved because they can just end both planets.
Yeah.
If they wanted to.
Yep. And again, I think it's wise that they choose not to, because it almost gives both sides a example to follow. They could have ended us, but they didn't. So maybe we should take a lesson from that. So now that I said that, I got the thrusters firing. How is that different to what we saw on? Gosh, my brain is fried. Anorax. Is it Anorax 7? Where? Meteor 7.
Yeah, right. So how is that different than what they were doing on that world instead of destroying everybody? Because that's basically what Kirk did to them, was let them destroy themselves enough to bring peace.
Right. So I would say the difference with that is we went to the two parties that were already fighting. In this case, the two parties brought their fight to them. So it was the Organians' planet. They really didn't need to be dragged into it. And both sides decided that they were going to kind of violate their sovereignty by coming down there saying they're bad, no, they're bad, they're bad. So the Organians kind of got dragged into the middle of it. Whereas on the Meteor 7 side, the Federation kind of got dragged into it accidentally by being declared a casualty of war. So I think there is a little bit of a difference. Also with the fact that the Organians have the power to back this up. They could just stop it with the flip of a for lack of a better term, use their Q power. But they don't, because they want us to learn. And I think it's just easier for them to have the power to say, you know what, your hands are going to burn. All your controls are going to stop working. Enough of this. And they also have the forbearance to see the future. And they know in the future that the Klingons and humans will become fast friends. They're doing this because they already know what the outcome is. Whereas with MNR7, we don't know what the outcome is. We hope it's good, but I think I even mentioned in that episode that in some of the books and comics, it didn't turn out great for MNR7. They did actually go to a full-fledged war, and a lot of people did die. So I think having the ability to know concretely what the outcome is gives the Organians the right to do what they did.
So does what the Organians do cause the friendship down the road? Because now there's people that see, hey, we can get along.
I think the seeds are planted here, definitely.
So if they did not go to Organia, do you think I mean, it's hyperbole, it's Monday morning quarterbacking, but do you think they actually say, hey, we can still be friends and then become friends down the road?
It could be as simple as in every possible permutation of this, it ends with the Klingons and humans being allies. And they're just giving them the path of least resistance with the least amount of deaths to say, so we're doing it and you're still going to get to point B. You might get there a little faster than you would if we don't intervene, but this is ridiculous. And you childish races need to take a time out.
So it's a Doctor Strange moment.
Could be. That's one way to look at it. Yep. So it does make you think. I love this episode. Again, John Colicos, man, was fantastic. Always was. Guys, if you haven't seen any of his other stuff, seek out his other stuff. Amazing. Even in the smallest parts in movies and stuff, he was always a highlight when you saw him come on the screen. And like I said, this is a watershed moment. We get introduced to the Klingons. We have the Organian Peace Treaty. We meet yet another set of all-powerful super gods who want nothing to do with humanity, except to get them to just leave us alone and just go on your merry way and don't kill each other. So, yep. And I think it's a highlight episode of season 1.
Yeah, this is up there with Space Seed for me. What about next week? What is next week?
Well, if you like episodes that make you go, what the hell is going on here? Have we got an episode for you? Because it is one of my all-time least favorite episodes, The Alternate Factor, which I attempted to start watching today and just could not make heads or tails.
So you're telling me to start now? Because if I wait till Wednesday,
And watch it several times.
There's okay, so there's I don't want to poison anybody's mind, but there's clearly a lot going on. There was a lot going on behind the scenes. The actor who was supposed to take the role of Lazarus dropped out the day of shooting. They had to scramble to get a replacement actor. That actor who dropped out, by the way, was Drew Barrymore's father. Dropped out. There were constant rewrites, barely noticeable. Huge plot holes.
so when you say barely noticeable, you're joking, like it's it starts off in English and then moves to Spanish and then it's in Portuguese.
Yeah, it's all over the place. It's bad science. It's it's poorly written, in my opinion. We start out saying, well, I'm this. Halfway through, you're lying. Okay, well, I'm this. Then halfway through, oh, did I tell them that? Because I'm going to change the concept again of what's going on here. Bad effects, the most ridiculous looking spaceship I've ever seen. It literally looks like George Jetson's car. I mean, it's painful all the way around. So,
All right, so maybe we'll see you in 2 weeks.
yeah. The Alternate Factor, and I always laugh because I would always say, well, I will watch an alternate program. Or they shouldn't have called it that. Yeah. So you guys can prove me wrong, but I have very strong feelings about this episode.
Well, that's upsetting because we've had a couple of good ones in a row.
Mm-hmm. It makes Alan Moraine look like an Emmy winner. So,
well, that'll do it for this week, I guess. Leaving that on a high note. Looking forward to next week.
I'm not.
Should be fun. Maybe we'll get the alternate Marty in. Deb, what do you got coming up on the interwebs?
Monday, I have on MCU Monday over on Feast of Fandoms, we are talking about the new Daredevil series, Born Again. And then
Is it good? Because I started watching it and I was like, okay, I'm bored again.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Daredevil, you were bored?
Yeah.
You watched the original series?
I watched the first season.
Okay. Stick with it. We're doing it. I watched the original when it was first on, so I forgot a lot of it. And Con and I are doing a rewatch, so we're 2 or 3 episodes into season 1. And forgot how good it was.
Mm-hmm. I'm enjoying Born Again. It's been really good. We're only 3 episodes in, so. But yeah, and then let's see. Tuesday I'll be on the Sith Dominion. We're talking Andor season 1 to prepare for season 2 coming out here in April. And then Thursday I'll be on Cantina Happy Hour. I'm not sure what we're talking about. Dave said something about novels. I don't know if that means all the novels or one specific novel, or it'll be a surprise.
I think you guys should do an episode on Star Crash, the original version of Star Wars.
Never heard of it.
Oh, Star Crash? Yeah, well, maybe when we wrap this up, we can do all those Star Wars ripoff movies from the 70s.
David Hasselhoff, right?
Hoff is in that one. Christopher Plummer too, right?
Yes. Yeah, I saw him in. I was watching it. It's free on YouTube.
Yes.
Wow.
The 70s, it was a weird time, man.
Well,
really
we were all pretty much
it really was
smoking weed.
So.
All right. Well, Marty, what do you got coming up?
What do I have coming up? Nothing. Nothing. I've got this coming up. And I'm going to take detailed notes for the next episode so I can validate my dislike.
Okay, good. I'll just wing it. I'll probably watch something else.
Fair enough.
All right, well, that'll wrap it up for this week. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in and staying as long as you could. We appreciate the minutes you give us. And we will talk to you next week, I think. Maybe.
That's right. You give us 90 minutes, we'll give you the galaxy.
I don't know. Next week might be my wife's birthday, so.
Let's just
assume. No.
Yeah. I don't even know what today is. 14?
14.
21.
Yeah.
We might be headed to a cabin next weekend, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we can overlook it. That gives us 2 weeks to prepare, which means I'll have very
publish a book.
Why I hate the
We'll give you a monologue, and when you start hearing the music, you know you're done.
Oh, actually, that gives me time to get a special prop for that episode. Okay.
Okay, good.
I have to hit Ace Hardware. Okay.
Okay. That's the place.
That's the place.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching The Geek and I. Federation Friday. Tell your friends about us. Don't tell them how bad we are. Tell them that it's an alternate type of show.
And if you have no friends, tell your enemies.
Yes, we want to hear from them most.
Yeah.
Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you on the other side.
Bye.